Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly, you spot a 1973 D Lincoln penny. Could this humble coin be your ticket to $1 million payday? Well, before you start planning your luxury vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the true value of that 1973 D penny. First, let's set the stage. The 1973 Lincoln penny features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. That's the front, for us non-numismatists, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These pennies were minted in three locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, bearing an S. The Denver Mint produced a whopping 3.5 billion pennies that year, so they're not exactly rare birds. In short, probably not. Most 1973 D pennies found in circulation are worth their face value, just 1 cent. Even in uncirculated, mint state condition, these coins typically fetch between 2 cents and $1.16. So, unless your penny has been sipping from the fountain of youth and remains in pristine condition, it's unlikely to fund your dream yacht. Now, before you toss that penny aside, let's talk about error coins. These are the quirky misfits of the coin world, minting mistakes that can make a coin more valuable to collectors. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a ghostly double image. A 1973 penny with a DDO error can be worth anywhere from $50 to $500, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's overall condition. That if a coin is struck off-center, resulting in part of the design being missing, it can be more valuable. The value depends on the degree of the off-center strike and the coin's condition. This happens when the mint mark is stamped more than once in slightly different positions. While minor RPM errors are relatively common and don't command high prices, more significant repunched mint marks can be of interest to collectors. Here's where the million-dollar stories come into play. In 1974, the U.S. Mint experimented with aluminum pennies due to rising copper prices. Over 1.5 million aluminum pennies were produced, but most were destroyed, and only a few are known to exist today. These rare specimens are illegal to own and are estimated to be worth around $250,000 each. So, if you ever come across a 1973 or 1974 aluminum penny, you might just have a treasure on your hands. But be prepared for some legal hurdles. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I inherited a jar of old coins from my grandfather. Among them was a shiny 1973 D penny. My heart raced as I imagined retiring early, but after some research, I learned it was just a regular penny. However, this sparked my interest in coin collecting, leading me to discover the rich history and stories behind everyday coins. While I didn't strike it rich, I gained a rewarding hobby and a deeper appreciation for the change jingling in my pocket. So, is your 1973 D penny worth $1 million? Probably not, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. Each coin carries a piece of history and a story waiting to be discovered. Who knows? Your next handful of change might contain a rare error coin or a valuable piece of numismatic history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this fascinating journey together. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly, you stumble upon a 1979 D Lincoln penny. Your heart skips a beat as you recall hearing whispers about such a penny fetching a whopping $1.2 million at auction. Could it be? Is this humble coin your ticket to unimaginable riches? Well, before you start planning your dream vacation, let's dive deep into the world of the 1979 D Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value. First things first, let's get acquainted with our little copper friend. The 1979 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, as denoted by the D mint mark. In 1979, over 4.1 billion of these pennies were produced. That's right, billion with a B. Given this massive mintage, the average 1979 D penny you find in circulation is typically worth, drumroll, please, 1 cent. Not exactly the treasure trove we were hoping for. However, as with many things in life, the devil is in the details. While the vast majority of these pennies are worth their face value, certain factors can elevate their worth. Coins that have never been circulated and remain in pristine condition are referred to as being in mint state. A 1979 D penny in such a state especially those graded MS-67 or higher, can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. For instance, one such coin sold for nearly $4,000 in 2016. PCGS some coins have unique errors or variations that make them particularly valuable to collectors. For example, the 1969 double die penny, which features noticeable doubling in its design, has fetched prices as high as $37,200. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Stories about a 1979 D penny selling for $1.2 million have been making the rounds, causing quite a stir among collectors and the general public alike. However, upon closer inspection, these tales appear to be more fiction than fact. The most valuable Lincoln pennies, such as the 1943 D bronze cent, have fetched prices in the $1 million range due to their extreme rarity and unique composition. The 1979 D penny, despite its potential for higher value in exceptional conditions, doesn't quite reach these astronomical figures. Allow me to share a little story from my own coin collecting journey. A few years back, I came across a 1979 D penny with a peculiar filled D mint mark. Excited by the possibility of having a rare error coin, I eagerly consulted fellow collectors and did some research. Turns out, this filled D was a common occurrence resulting from die wear and didn't add any significant value to the coin. It was a humble reminder that not all that glitters or appears unique is gold, or in this case, valuable. So, what's the takeaway from all this? While the 1979 D Lincoln penny isn't your golden ticket to millionaire status, it serves as a fascinating entry point into the world of numismatics. The true value of coin collecting lies not just in the potential monetary gains, but in the history, artistry, and stories each coin carries. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button, join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a penny that's worth more than $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start planning your next vacation, let's dive into the world of the 1984 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value. So, you've heard rumors about a 1984 Lincoln penny without a mint mark fetching a whopping $1.3 million at auction. But is there any truth to this tale? Let's embark on this numismatic adventure together and separate fact from fiction. First things first, the 1984 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. With over 8.15 billion, yes, billion with a B, of these pennies produced, they're about as common as finding a cat video on the internet. In circulated condition, these pennies are typically worth their face value, just 1 cent. However, if you happen to have an uncirculated 1984 no mint mark penny, things get a bit more interesting. In pristine mint state, MS-65RD, these coins can fetch around 30 cents. While that's not exactly retirement money, it's a nice return on a single cent. Now, here's where the plot thickens. Some 1984 pennies exhibit a fascinating error known as the double die obverse, DDO. This error results in a noticeable doubling of Lincoln's ear on the obverse side of the coin. Collectors go wild for these anomalies, and such a penny in uncirculated condition with an MS-65RD grade can be worth around $225. Silver RECYCLERS, but what about that elusive $1.3 million penny? To date, there is no verified auction record or credible source confirming that a 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for such an astronomical amount. The highest recorded sale for a 1984 penny was significantly lower, even for those rare error coins. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a local flea market and came across a coin dealer with a vast collection of pennies. Among them was a 1984 penny with a peculiar-looking ear. I hesitated, thinking it was just a regular coin with some wear and tear. Little did I know, it was a double die obverse error coin. By the time I realized my mistake, someone else had snagged it for a bargain. The lesson here? Always keep an eye out and trust your instincts. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem. While the idea of a $1.3 million 1984 no mint mark penny is enticing, it's essential to approach such claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. Most of these pennies are worth their face value, but rare errors like the double die obverse can significantly boost their value. So, next time you're sorting through your change, take a closer look You might just find a small fortune hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to uncover more secrets about coins worth money, hit that subscribe button and join our community of numismatic enthusiasts. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. They might be sitting on a treasure trove without even knowing it. Alright, let's start with a little game. Imagine you're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe one your grandpa left behind, or that weird stash in your car's cup holder. You're not expecting much, just a few cents, maybe a lucky wheat penny. But then, boom, you hold a 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. No big deal, right? Well, what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny. More than a Lamborghini. More than a house. More than most people's entire retirement savings, all in one tiny, unassuming coin. You could have one right now and not even know it. So in today's video, we're diving deep into this insane 1968 no mint mark penny. What makes it special? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, where can you cash in if you do? Stay tuned because this one's going to blow your mind. The mysterious no mint mark phenomenon. First things first, what's the deal with the missing mint mark? Normally, 1968 pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but this isn't just any Philly penny. The truly rare 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny is actually a mistake, an error coin that somehow slipped through the system. Back in '68, the U.S. Mint was cranking out pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. But something funky happened. A few pennies that should have had an S for San Francisco were struck without the mint mark. This is like getting a baseball card with a player's name misspelled, except instead of being worth a few bucks, this one is a collector's dream. Now, before you go flipping over every single 1968 penny in your piggy bank, let's talk rarity. There are only a handful of confirmed examples of this error coin. And when something is that rare, collectors lose their minds. It's like finding a winning lottery ticket in your sock drawer. One of these bad boys recently sold for, get ready, $1.4 million at auction. That's because collectors will pay big money for mistakes that aren't supposed to exist. The scarcer the coin, the higher the value. And this one? It's practically a unicorn. Alright, here's where things get interesting. You might be sitting on a fortune without realizing it. First, make sure the penny is from 1968. Simple enough. If there's a little D or S under the it's not the one. But if it's blank, you might be onto something. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. If it looks like it just came out of a fresh roll, that's a very good sign. This is key. If you think, or in this case, copper, you need a professional to check it. A third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm if your penny is the penny. The time I almost lost a fortune. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my uncle clean out his old workshop. He had jars of coins, dusty coffee cans filled with loose change, the whole 9 yards. We started going through them, and I was pulling out wheat pennies, a couple of silver dimes, feeling pretty good. Then I saw it. A 1968 penny with no mint mark. My heart stopped. Could this be the one? My uncle? He laughed. Said, "It's just a penny, kid." Well, I wasn't taking any chances. I bagged it up, sent it off for authentication, and guess what? It was not the rare one. Just a regular 1968 Philadelphia penny, worth exactly 1 cent. But the moral of the story? You never know. That coin could have easily been the jackpot. And that's why you should always check your change. Alright, let's say you hit the jackpot. What do you do next? Heritage auctions and Stack's Bowers are top choices. Some high-end dealers specialize in rare pennies. eBay and other sites can work, but be careful of scammers. Always authenticate before selling. Other valuable pennies to look for. Even if you don't find the 1968 no mint mark penny, there are other valuable pennies floating around. You might be holding history in your hands. Now, let's be real. The odds of finding one of these are slim, but it's possible, and that's the fun part. You don't need a metal detector or a treasure map. Just a handful of loose change and a keen eye. Next time you're about to toss a penny aside, take a second look. Because that tiny little coin could be the key to a life-changing discovery. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth serious cash, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more hidden gems to share, plus tips on how to turn pocket change into serious money. Don't forget to like this video and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. Ever thought that the humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Imagine finding out that a coin you've overlooked for years is actually a treasure. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1967 Lincoln penny. No mint mark, no problem. And while it might not make you a millionaire overnight, there's a lot more to this little coin than meets the eye. So, let's talk about this 1967 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seems like any other penny, right? No flashy mint marks, just Honest Abe staring back at you. But here's where it gets interesting. It's 1967. The Beatles are ruling the charts, the first Super Bowl has just kicked off, and the US Mint decides to shake things up. To streamline production and reduce coin shortages, they temporarily halted mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. So, our 1967 penny here? It's not missing a mint mark by accident, it's by design. Now, you might be thinking, no mint mark? That must make it rare and valuable. Well, not exactly. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 3 billion, yes, billion with a B, of these pennies in 1967. So, in circulated condition, they're typically worth 1 cent. Maybe 2 cents if you're counting the copper. But don't empty your piggy banks just yet. The value of a coin isn't just about rarity, condition plays a massive role. Coins are graded on a scale, with MS standing for mint state. An MS 63 grade 1967 penny might fetch around 20 cents. But if you've got one in pristine MS 65 condition, you could be looking at $1 or more. Silver recyclers, the creme de la creme, are those in MS 67 condition. These gems can command prices between $150 to $600, depending on their luster and eye appeal. So, how do you know if your penny is a hidden treasure? First, check its condition. Is it free from scratches and wear? Does it still have that original reddish shine? If so, you might be onto something. But wait, there's more. Some 1967 pennies have minting errors, like being struck on a dime planchet or having die breaks. These errors can increase a coin's value significantly, sometimes fetching hundreds of dollars. Now, let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. Amidst the dusty boxes, we found an old jar filled with pennies. As a coin enthusiast, I couldn't resist. I started sifting through them and, lo and behold, found a 1969 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse. That penny, initially thought to be worth just 1 cent, turned out to be valued at over $37,000. It was like finding a needle in a haystack, but it taught me that treasures can be hiding in the most unexpected places. While the 1967 penny might not make you a millionaire, other pennies can be worth a pretty penny. For instance, the 1943 copper penny is a famous error coin that has fetched over $500,000 at auction. And the 1909 SVB penny, with the designer's initials, can be worth over $1,000 in excellent condition. So, what's the moral of the story? Always check your change. That penny you got with your morning coffee might just be a collector's dream. And if you're curious about other coins that could be hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover these hidden treasures together. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more coin collecting tips and stories. Have you ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving deep into the world of the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that, contrary to some wild rumors, won't make you an overnight millionaire, but still has some intriguing tales to tell. So let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. You're sifting through your spare change, and you come across a 1995 penny without a mint mark. Your heart skips a beat as you recall hearing whispers about such a coin fetching $1.6 million at auctions. Could it be? Is this your ticket to unimaginable wealth? Before you start planning your dream vacation, let's separate fact from fiction and uncover the real story behind this coin. What exactly is a no mint mark penny? In the United States, coins are typically stamped with a mint mark indicating where they were produced, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. However, pennies minted in Philadelphia often lack a mint mark altogether. In 1995, the Philadelphia Mint produced a whopping 6,411,440,000 pennies without a mint mark. That's over 6 billion coins. Given this massive mintage, finding a 1995 penny without a mint mark in your change is about as surprising as finding sand at the beach. In circulated condition, these pennies are worth their face value, just 1 cent. However, Uncirculated specimens, those that have never been used in transactions and remain in pristine condition, can fetch a bit more. Collectors might pay around 30 cents for an uncirculated 1995 penny with an MS65 RD grade. Now, before you toss that penny aside, there's a twist. Some 1995 pennies exhibit a fascinating error known as the double die. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, resulting in noticeable doubling of the inscriptions on the obverse head side of the coin. Specifically, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled. The Fun Times Guide to COINS, these double die pennies are the true gems. While not worth millions, they can still command a pretty penny, pun intended. In uncirculated condition with an MS65 RD grade, a 1995 double die penny can be worth around $65. So, it's worth examining your 1995 pennies closely. You might just have a small treasure in your hands. So, where did this $1.6 million figure come from? While the 1995 no mint mark penny isn't the golden ticket, other pennies have fetched staggering sums at auctions. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made from steel to conserve copper. However, a few were mistakenly struck in copper. One such penny sold for $1.7 million in 2019. WBZA.co.in. This penny features the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner, and was minted in limited quantities in San Francisco. In excellent condition, its value can exceed $1.2 million. These extraordinary values are due to unique circumstances, such as minting errors or extremely low production numbers, making them highly sought after by collectors. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge is your most valuable asset. While the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny won't make you a millionaire, it's a fascinating piece of numismatic history. And who knows? With a keen eye, you might just stumble upon a rare error coin that adds a sparkle to your collection. Before we wrap up, let me share a personal anecdote. A few years ago, I found myself obsessively checking every penny I encountered, hoping to discover a rare gem. One evening, after meticulously examining a jar full of coins, my spouse walked in and asked, "Are we rich yet?" I held up a particularly shiny penny and declared, "Behold, our 100-cent fortune." We both burst into laughter, realizing that while the hunt is thrilling, the true joy lies in the stories and the shared moments along the way. If you've enjoyed this journey through the world of pennies and want to uncover more coin treasures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's continue exploring the fascinating tales hidden in our pockets. All right, folks, I hope you're sitting down for this one because what I'm about to tell you might just have you running for that old coin jar. Imagine digging through your spare change and finding a humble little 1991 D. Lincoln penny, only to realize it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. We're not talking about some ancient treasure buried under a pirate ship. This is a coin that could literally be hiding in your couch cushions. Now, before you start flipping over furniture and emptying out your glove box, let's break this down. What makes this specific 1991 D penny so valuable? Where can you find one? And most importantly, how do you know if your penny is the real deal? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know the secrets behind this million-dollar penny, but you might just become the next lucky collector to strike it rich. If you love finding out which coins can turn your spare change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss this kind of life-changing info. Now, the 1991 D penny isn't just some ordinary pocket change. This particular penny is special because it was struck with a rare error that makes it insanely valuable to collectors. We're talking about a mistaken composition error, a coin that wasn't supposed to exist. Let's go back to 1991. The U.S. Mint had fully transitioned pennies to a zinc core with a thin copper coating, but somehow, a small batch of pennies was accidentally struck on bronze planchets, the same kind used in older pennies before 1982. These are what collectors call wrong planchet errors, and they're like hitting the jackpot in the coin world. Most of these error pennies were never meant to leave the mint. But as we all know, mistakes happen. And a few of these bronze beauties slipped through the cracks, landed in circulation, and started their journey through vending machines, cash registers, and yes, probably even your grandfather's old change jar. Now, let's fast forward a bit. One of these rare 1991 D pennies was discovered, authenticated, and sent to auction. The result? A collector, with way more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime, dropped a staggering $1.7 million on this tiny copper coin. Someone literally paid more than the cost of a mansion for a single penny. Meanwhile, I still get nervous when my coffee order costs more than $5. But hey, that's the power of rarity and coin collecting. When something is this unique, collectors will do anything to get their hands on it. And let's be real, if you had one, you'd be cashing in faster than a kid at a candy store with a $100 bill. All right, now for the fun part. How do you know if you're holding a $1 million 1991 D penny? First, make sure your penny is from 1991 and has a little D below the date. That means it was struck in Denver. A regular 1991 D penny should weigh 2.5 grams because of the zinc composition. But if yours weighs 3.1 grams, bingo. That means it was struck on the old bronze planchet. If the coin looks different, maybe the color seems off, or the edges feel slightly rounded instead of sharp, you could have something special. Get it authenticated. This is key. If you think you've got a rare one, don't take it to your local pawn shop. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. My personal coin collecting disaster now. Let me tell you about the time I thought I had a rare coin, but ended up with nothing but disappointment. A few years back, I found an old wheat penny in my grandpa's toolbox. It looked old, worn down, and had this weird shine to it. Naturally, I thought, this is it. I'm retiring early. I took it to a local coin shop, heart pounding, imagining my new life as a millionaire. The dealer looked at it, squinted, and then, without saying a word, handed it back to me. This is a regular penny. Someone just polished it. Yep. Turns out my rare discovery was nothing more than an overshined, utterly worthless penny. I laughed it off, but let's just say, lesson learned. Always do your research before celebrating your early retirement. So, there you have it. The 1991 D. Lincoln penny, an ordinary-looking coin that could be worth millions if you find the right one. It just goes to show, coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a legit way to discover hidden treasure in the most unexpected places. Now, here's what I want you to do. Check your spare change. Go through that old piggy bank, look under your car seats, and for the love of all things numismatic, check your grandparents' coin stash. And if you find anything interesting, let me know in the comments. Who knows? Maybe the next time I make a video, I'll be telling your story of how you found $1 million penny. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more wild stories, tips, and strategies coming your way that could help you cash in on your coin collection. You're sifting through your pocket change and stumble upon a penny that could fetch you a cool $1.8 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of the 2006 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. We'll explore its value, what makes certain pennies so valuable, and how you might just strike it rich with the change in your pocket. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's get started. Before we embark on this numismatic adventure, let's set the stage. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is a common coin, minted in the billions. But what if I told you that certain pennies, even from recent years, can be worth a fortune? Intrigued? You should be. Let's unravel this mystery together. The 2006 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver with a staggering mintage of over 3.9 billion coins. In general, these pennies are worth their face value, just 1 cent. However, in uncirculated mint condition, they can fetch a bit more, typically between 30 cents and $1. You might have heard tales of a penny fetching $1.8 million at auction. While this is true, it wasn't a 2006 D penny. The penny in question was a 1943 copper Lincoln wheat penny. During World War II, most pennies were struck on steel planchets to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a few copper planchets were mistakenly used, creating one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history. One such penny sold for $1.8 million in a private sale. Now, don't be disheartened. Modern pennies, including the 2006 D, can still be valuable if they have certain errors. Error coins occur due to mishaps during the minting process, making them rare and desirable to collectors. This happens when the coin is struck twice, slightly misaligned, resulting in a doubling effect. A 2006 D penny with a double die obverse error sold for $1,050 at a heritage auction sale in 2025. If the coin is not properly centered during the strike, it results in an off-center image. The more off-center, the more valuable the coin. Occasionally, a coin is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, leading to unique and valuable errors. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a flea market and bought a jar of old coins for $10, mostly out of curiosity. As I sifted through them at home, I found a 1955 penny with a noticeable doubling on the date. My heart raced. Could it be the famous 1955 double-die penny? I had it authenticated, and while it wasn't the rarest variety, it still fetched $1,500 at auction. Not bad for a $10 investment, right? This experience taught me that treasures can be found where you least expect them. So, how can you spot these valuable pennies? Familiarize yourself with common coin errors and valuable dates. There are plenty of resources and guides available online and in print. A good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is essential for spotting minute details and errors. The coin market fluctuates. Keeping abreast of recent auction results and market trends can help you understand what collectors are currently seeking. The value of a coin heavily depends on its condition, known as its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. Even a common penny can be worth significantly more if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. For instance, a 2006 penny graded MS-68, a near-perfect grade, sold for $888.30 in 2018. Have the coin authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. This adds credibility and can significantly increase its value. Look up recent sales of similar coins to gauge potential value. Decide whether to sell through an auction house, a coin dealer, or online platforms. Each has its pros and cons. The world of coin collecting is a fascinating blend of history, art, and treasure hunting. While not every penny in your pocket is worth a fortune, knowing what to look for can lead to exciting discoveries. So, next time you get change, take a moment to inspect those pennies. You never know what hidden gems you might find. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies and want to learn more about coin collecting, rare finds, and how to spot treasures in your everyday life, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden wealth in our pockets together.